Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We gonna light it up. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We gonna light it up.
Sorry about that. I was just trying to get a drink in right before the live got on, but I was a little slow. But welcome in, everybody. Now I feel like I'm breathing heavy because I was trying to hurry up and like down some water before I came on. I was super thirsty, but welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Making deviled eggs, Mary Beth. Wow. You just like, you're a cooker. Yes, you like to cook. I don't know if you like to cook, but you cook a lot. I do not like to cook. I don't think anybody could have guessed that. I mean, don't I look like a Betty Crocker to you? I do have the Betty Crocker, actually. I have her cookbook from like the 70s. I think everybody does. I have my mother's. So there's a little bit of a tidbit for you, a little truth for you. But my name is Tanya, or Titanium Built, if you are new to the channel. Hi, hello, welcome. And welcome back to all the Titans that are here joining for another live. I appreciate it. This is an older case that we were covering. And then there was really nothing to cover. So now that there is, we're back to it. So I don't know if you guys have heard about this case or not, but we'll let some people kind of come in, get settled, and we'll start. So how are you guys doing? Hey, baby girls in here. We got Mary Beth and we had Ladybug. I saw. That's a good day. Hey, Catherine. Hey, Crime Kitty. How you doing today? Hey, Catherine. That's funny. Well, Catherine, isn't your daughter going off to, is it your daughter that went off to school? You gotta be careful, especially during those years. Actually, during any of the year in your life, you got to be careful nowadays, right? Not when I was a kid, though. Shoot. You went outside and you came back home whenever the lights came out, like the lights turned on, our street lights. Not a minute before. Hey, Kathy. I mean, I had we would have we would just make things up and go, right? I would make my bedroom into like whatever it needed to be for the day. I was a beautician once for a couple days. I cut a couple people's hair before we got caught. They would come up to the window. I mean, we had like such an imagination. But in your 20s, you just got to you got to be careful of all the other crazies that are out there in the world too. But when you're young, you shouldn't have to worry about that. Yeah, they were upgraded. Yes, charges were upgraded. I was surprised that they actually charged them to begin with. I mean, because of the case, it's just not a lot of people that are, that deal with like fentanyl and cocaine and stuff like that. They don't normally get caught, or if they do get caught, if it's like a big enough quantity, right, they'll get sent for like distribution or, but I really didn't think with this case it was going to go much further than what it went. So I'm glad. I have a lot of stuff to show you guys too. You paint? I love that. Oh, you sit outside. I try to sit outside too. I try to go down to the pool today to enjoy my day. And I was like halfway there and the guy stopped me that works here, where we live. And he was like, hey, he's like, you going to the pool? I'm like, yeah, I am. I was wearing a bathing suit and everything. I'm like, yeah. And he was like, it's closed. And I had a feeling something was going on because I could see like, it wasn't a lot or anything because like someone would have complained, but there was like a little bit of like dirt in the bottom of the pool, like in the corners and like just like a little bit, but not like a lot to where it was like like that's crazy. Right. But I guess the pool filter isn't working. So they said it might be a little while. And I'm like, what do you mean a little while? Hey, Machichi. I was like, summer's almost over. Don't do this to me. There was a mass shooting at a Target today in Texas. That's sad. That's sad. Target's supposed to be the happiest place on earth. I know that's really Disneyland, but I mean, I consider Target the happiest place on earth. Hey, Willows. I'm just getting through your guys' names. Did I say hi to you, baby girl? I did. I said hi to all the mods. I'm just kind of going slow. Hey, get to the ducking point. My dog's back here making noises. The gray one's on this side tonight. And the brown one's on this side. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Hey, Groovy Nikki. Hey, Rita. It's been a while, I feel like. Welcome in. Hey, Ashley. Drive carefully. I'd love to have red hair. Mary Beth has that bright, like that red hair. Red hair. Hey, Tom, you blame Taylor Swift for what? I love Taylor. I was listening to her today while I was cleaning. I was like, just Taylor Swift too. I was like, Google. My Google sucks. I was like, hey, Google. I was like screaming at it. Play Taylor Swift. Thanks, Ladybug. I told my surgeon, I don't care what you take off, just leave the hair. I hear you. I have to go to my surgeon here in a couple weeks, actually. You have the Betty Crocker book? Me too. I know that my I have it out in a box. I hope it's in a tote. I don't know why I would keep it that in a box and everything else is in a tote, but it should be in a tote. But it's out in our shed and I should go get it because there's probably some really cool recipes in there from like my grandmother, my mom, just everybody in the family. So maybe even my great grandmother, heck, Oh, that's good that her boyfriend goes to the same college. 5 years together. Wow. We need a game. We can get a game. I don't know how to do that, but we could figure it out. When the streetlights came on, yep. Yeah, we could we couldn't go very far. I mean, we could go like blocks away. Like there weren't blocks where I lived, there were subdivisions, like, so there was a housing development, housing development, housing development. So we would cut through the neighbors' yards. They never cared. We never went through like their flowers or anything like that, but we could cut through the yards, where they kind of met, and we would meet our friends and stuff like that. But yeah, it's nowadays you can't do that. Hey, Petunia. Hey, Tracy. If you get caught in someone's yard, they might shoot you. I mean, you never know, but it's too people-y for me. Tom, let me tell you, I was in Target. It's been a little while, but I was in Target. I mean, not a little while since I've been in Target, but you know what I mean? This was a while back. And this lady, I've known that she's worked there forever, but I didn't know that she knew me. And she looked at me and she was like, one of my regulars. And I was like, wow. I was like, that's bad. Right, Sharon? I know. It's even scary. It's scary. Hey, Marcy. And you're absolutely right, Sharon. It's very scary in this world. Yeah, Walmart's usually twice here at my Walmart. Hey, Jenna. Hey, Kiwi Farms has the moths, Aries. Okay, I think I got everybody. Beautiful or ugly redheads. There's no in between. It's either you got it or you don't. I like Maribeth's color hair. I would so yeah, I mean, like, my under hair is kind of a reddish like tint, I guess you could say, but you can't really see it when we're like, I don't know, live. I guess you can kind of see it. We'll see. I love your new name. Aries is so funny. You come up with the most clever names, I'll tell you that. But actually, I have the moths. I've got the deeds. I've got the facts. So I'm going to put this picture up just so that you guys can see who we're talking about. And I have some notes that I wrote up earlier because it's been a while since we've really covered this case. It's actually been since March. So we have just a few updates, not a lot of updates, but they are going towards trial and there are upgraded charges. So we'll go through that and then we'll listen to the last couple of court hearings they had, which are only like 10 minutes long. We'll go through the probable cause statement and I'll show you an interview that, Jordan Willis decided to do because he thinks he's going to get away with everything. So the people that we're going to be talking about, the gentlemen that we're going to be talking about tonight are the ones on the screen. So we're going to cover, this was a very high profile case involving the deaths of 3 Kansas City Chiefs fans. And it was David Harrington, 37, Clayton McGeeney, 36, and Ricky Johnson, 38, who were found frozen in a backyard after attending a watch party for the Chiefs game. Literally, just went to watch the Chiefs game. Initially, this case was, really shrouded in mystery and speculation. Everyone was kind of going towards foul play because, you find three guys out in a backyard in different spots, all frozen to death. 2 days later after the party, there's going to be heads. People are going to turn heads, okay? So on January 7th, 2024, the 3 men gathered at the home of Jordan Willis in Kansas City, Missouri, to watch the Chiefs game against the Los Angeles Chargers. Their bodies were discovered 2 days later on January 9th in Willis's backyard. So in Jordan's backyard, the person's house that they were at watching this football game. And the temperatures were freezing temperatures. Autopsies revealed the cause of deaths were combined toxicity from fentanyl and cocaine. Family members and friends raised concerns about suspicious circumstances. They were just not having it. They were not having it. They were wondering why the bodies, went unnoticed for days. And they wanted to know why there was no really a police action taken. And then the story just kind of went out into the news and into YouTube. So it got some more traction after that. Now, this is Jordan Willis and Ivory Carson. So in March 2025, Carson, who is 42, and Willis, who is 39, were charged with 3 counts of involuntary manslaughter and 2 counts of distribution of a controlled substance. In June 2025, and we're going to watch this today. Prosecutors upgraded the charges to 3 counts of second-degree felony murder, plus the original drug distribution charges, bringing the total to 5 felony counts each. Jordan, he's like, I'm gonna be fine. I'm just like, you better watch, bugs. You might not be fine. On July 24th, a Platte, I think it's called Platte or Platte County judge ruled there was sufficient evidence for both men to stand trial after preliminary hearing. And we're going to listen to the preliminary hearing, and we'll see them in the preliminary hearing as well. But a bond review was held. It was supposed to be held on August 6th, but I cannot find any major updates or any updates that are like present. You know what I mean? To where like after the 6th. So I don't know if they didn't end up having the meeting or what happened, but they just weren't there. Platt, thank you. So just Platt. Cool. Thanks, Marcy. Man, y'all are awesome whenever you help me out. Because you guys do. Because like it has an E on the end. So it's just like, I'm not sure, fool me once, fool me twice. One of those things like Bethany Funk, her last name is spelled Funke. Ruby Frankie, Franke. I thought the E was silent on Ruby's name for the longest time, which I'm not mad about that. It's what she did to her kids is terrible, but I pronounced her name wrong for the longest time. So Platt, that's, I love that. That's so much easier. Oh, you live there. Oh, Marcy, well, that makes sense. That non-coke, they say, yeah. Cocaine. And, some people, they like to have a little fun when they're, with the boys, whatever, I don't think personally they were wanting to do the fentanyl per se, because when you hear about their past and stuff, they don't really have a past of usage of doing anything, any drugs really. Like family members did come out and say like, yeah, they probably would do that. Like cocaine, maybe like for like if they're at a party or like, but it would be like once a year kind of thing. It wouldn't be like, where they're doing it every weekend. This was like one of those things where the guys just kind of hung out and were just, wanting, I guess, to do something extra. And sometimes you can't do extra, Thank you, Ladybug. I appreciate that. Thanks for the super sticker. Appreciate that very much. So we're going to read through this, and then I was going to show you a video, and then we'll read the or the probable cause affidavit. So prosecutors have upgraded charges to felony murder against 2 men accused in the deaths of 3 Kansas City Chiefs fans found dead outside a Missouri home last year. A new court filing shows. And I looked for the upgraded charges, and I think that this one says that it was done in like March. So I don't know if this might be the upgraded actually. Maybe it is. Hopefully it is. Because I was looking everywhere for it, but I found the one that they it states everything that happened in it, so it'll be good. So initially in March, the Platte County District Attorney filed charges including distribution of a controlled substance and 3 counts of manslaughter against Jordan Willis, 39, and Ivory Carson, 42, in connection to the apparent overdose deaths of Ricky Johnson, 38, David Harrington, 37, and Clayton McGeeney, 36. According to a 4-page amended complaint obtained by USA Today on June 27th, Willis and Carson now face 3 counts of felony murder in the second degree. I think Nancy Grace might have put an episode out over this. I have to check. Under Missouri law, felony murder is the second degree is punishable by no less than 10 to 30 years in prison or life imprisonment. So they are facing a lot of years in prison to be so nonchalant like he like Jordan Willis is being. I haven't heard from Ivory Carson. I think he's probably being smart and not saying a word. Doesn't look like it's his first go with this, but Jordan, I do believe it's his. So a person convicted of manslaughter, the charge before they upgraded it, would face between 5 and 15 years in prison. The new charge is 10, no less than 10 to 30 years. That would be times 3. So even if you get on the lower end of that, right? If you're guilty and you get 10 years, just for not even the distribution, just for the murder, like, the murders alone, that's 30 years. Like, it's just a lot. So it says the revised complaint was filed in open court before a judge on June 26. Platte County Attorney's Office spokesperson, I don't know if it's Tanya or Tanya, Fatterty, told USA Today. So it says, who is suspected drug dealer in Kansas City Chiefs fan death case? That was complicated to say, wasn't it? Thank you. Thank you, Mary Beth. I appreciate you. Isn't that the truth? I actually tried to go on Scribe to find the documents today. I pay $15 a month for it. And I'm like, where are these documents? I always forget to unsubscribe from Scribe. Get it? You know me. I'll stay subscribed to something forever. It says, who is suspected drug dealer in Kansas City fans death case? So let's talk about him, Carson, a little bit. The men's bodies were found January 7th. No, they were found, January 9th. I don't know why they said January 7th. It happened January 7th. Yeah. So it was January 9th, but I don't know why I said, okay, sorry. Outside Willow suburban Kansas City home where the group gathered to watch an NFL game. During a news conference earlier this year, officials said Carson was the suspected drug dealer who sold cocaine to Willis and the victims. Court documents show Carson's DNA was allegedly found on a bag of fentanyl at the scene. And I think the other bag had Jordan's fingerprints all over it. The case attracted national attention as the cause of fans' deaths were shrouded in mystery for nearly a year. Court records released in March show the men died from toxic effects of fentanyl and cocaine. For months, law enforcement and prosecutors refused to publicly release the men's cause or manner of death despite their autopsies being complete. At the time, authorities had cited the case pending investigation. After the fan's death, the 38-year-old Willis moved out of his rental home where he had lived alone and worked remotely for a New York hospital. He was like a scientist. Like, this guy was like super, he is a scientist, but he, used to work in the field. And very smart guy. Like, I think it was their cousins. One of the guys' cousins came forward and was like, if you were at a party and you wanted something like a drug, like he could make something. Like, he was that smart. That's like scary smart, especially if you're out doing this kind of stuff. So it says here that he moved, and then it says, according to his Kansas-based lawyer, John Persiano, or whatever his name is, that guy he got under my skin. I have him pulled up too, because in case we need to go back and backtrack anything. It's Jordan's the defense attorney, and I just think he just seems rotten. I don't know. On June 27th, the defense attorney continued to profess his client's innocence, saying Willis maintained he is not responsible for purchasing or supplying the drugs that led to the victims' deaths. I believe it's an overreach, Perserno said when asked by USA Today about the amended charges. I believe the previous charges were adequate. It was only done because we turned down a plea offer. Get the hell out of here, Perserno. So the prosecution came to you for a plea deal. And since you turned it down, they upped the charges. That makes zero sense. You remember this guy, Perserno, that he was on Banfield? Yeah. Hey, Trips. Hey, Jet Set. I don't know if I said hey to you. Hey, Citizen. Welcome in, everyone. I was on that other screen. Hey, Christian. Welcome in, everybody. I think it was his dad that bailed him out. I think it was. Maybe Persona. Persona did not elaborate on the plea offer conditions or when it was offered to his client because it wasn't. He's a liar, pants on fire. He really is, I think. I really do think that guy's like sketch. We might have to go back to his old interview with Banfield. The defense attorney said his client is due in Platte County Associate Circuit Court next month for another hearing on the case. That doesn't sound like the highest court. Well, you gifted a membership, Mary Beth. Who got it? Dana Babe got it. Well, thank you. Seems like something that prosecution would do if you don't take a deal, the offer that will stick every freaking charge they can until you break and accept it. I guess so, but I mean, if they went to him for a plea deal, they were only at the time charged with the 3 manslaughter charges, and that he said that was adequate. So wonder what the deal would have been, right? It would have been something better than being charged what was it? How many years for that one? No, I don't know what it was, but I think it was up at the top. 5 to 15 years. But maybe they think they can get off with all of it, you know? I think this is going to be one of those things that they're going to make. They've got to like start prosecuting people for these kind of things, or people are just going to continue to do it, do it, you know? So according to Kansas City police, officers discovered the fans' bodies, which they didn't. Let's be real. Clayton McGeeney's fiance went over there, saw that their vehicles were still parked there, but there was like snow on them, like they were covered, like they hadn't gotten in their vehicles. So she went to knock on the door. No one answered. She like banged on the door. Then she left. Then she came back with someone, I believe, or someone had came in between the 2 times. Like there was 2 different people, like 2 different people had went, 3 different like people total. By the 3rd time, she's like, I could see the guys are still here. What's my fiance doing? Right? Like, I mean, that would be my reaction. Like, why hasn't he picked up the phone? I've been trying to call him for 2 days. I'm breaking in. Like, she's like, she did too. She's like, I'm breaking into this house. And that's what she did. And would you believe it if she did not find the bodies of the 3 men? I guess one of them was sitting, there was a chair in the back. So if you go out the back door, there's like a little slab of concrete. There was a chair there. And one of the guys was actually like sitting in the chair, like sitting up. Like they didn't just fall over all in the same spot. They were in different areas of the yard, and they all died from the same thing, right? So it just makes you think like, you know, why didn't they go back towards the home if they knew they were like feeling some sort of way, you know, maybe they felt like they needed to be out in the colder temperatures, but their body just, you know, the warmth or whatever, their body temperature just went down way too fast from, you know, the impacts of the drugs. I would like to know exactly how that all played out. Like, you know, what are they going to say in court? How did they all 3 get into different spots? I'm just curious, you know, I'm just curious. So it says here, oh yeah, some 48 hours later, it says police officers received a call from McGeeney's fiance who said she visited the home after not hearing from him. When no one answered the door, she broke inside and found a dead body in the back of the property. And I think that she might have only maybe found one of the guys, the one that was sitting in the chair. I can't remember for sure who was sitting in the chair, but one of them was. So it's sad. Okay, so let me see here. This is going to be about Carson and Jordan. So I wanted to play this for you guys.
From the station that's working for you, you're watching Fox 4 News at 6.
Tonight, 2 men now face charges in Platte County in the deaths of 3 men found frozen behind a Northland home more than a year ago. I'm John Holt.
I'm Lauren Halifax. They were at a friend's house to watch a Chiefs game, One friend is one of the two men charged. Fox 4's Malik Jackson has been on the story since it broke. He's in Platte City tonight. Malik, any response from the victims' families?
Yeah, I've spoken with several members of these men's families, and they tell me this is a huge relief off of their shoulder, huge weight off of their shoulder more than a year after this all transpired right here in Platte County. We do now know that two men, Jordan Willis and Ivory Carson, have been charged each with 2 counts of distribution of a controlled substance and 3 counts of involuntary manslaughter in the deaths of Ricky Johnson, Clayton McGeeney, and David Harrington.
Today's charges are the product of hard work.
Do you know who that guy is? Okay, I might be wrong, but let me know. Is that the guy that had all like the tea in the Idaho 4 case with Ashley Banfield that worked for Daily Mail? Because I've been watching his videos all day, and I'm like, who is this guy? I know him from somewhere. Or they just look like that. They're like doppelgangers. I'll go back a little bit just because I interrupted it, but sorry about that. And if you guys don't mind, hit the like button.
Manslaughter and the deaths of Ricky Johnson, Clayton McGeeney, and David Harrington.
Today's charges are the product of hard work of Kansas City detectives and prosecutors over those many months.
14 months after this case got national attention, it's now one step closer to its conclusion. On Wednesday, the Platte County Prosecutor's Office announced 5 felony charges against 2 men, Ivory Carson and Jordan Willis. Willis for purchasing and Carson for supplying the drugs that led to the death of Clayton McGeeney, Ricky Johnson, and David Harrington.
Members of the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department do not give up on these investigations. While this happened a year ago, our detectives continue to work on this case to get it to the point that we're at today.
The state says the 3 men gathered together with friends at Harrington's home. Then the party moved to Willis's home, where drugs, including cocaine, fentanyl, and marijuana were used. The men were not heard from for almost 2 days until McGeeney's fiance arrived at Willis's home, where she discovered one body and called the police. The other 2 bodies were later found, all 3 outside in the backyard of the home Willis was renting.
Willis was saying that he didn't know that there was dead bodies in his backyard because first it was he didn't come downstairs. He didn't leave his bedroom or something, like didn't go to the bathroom, right? He said he was wearing noise canceling headphones. Okay, whatever. Didn't go to work. Everything he did was wrong. When the cops showed up, he answered the door in his underwear. And you know when it's the cops at your house. Boom, 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 boom. You know the knock. You know the knock of a police officer that's trying to get your attention, especially. He had an empty wine glass in his hand, and he was in his boxers. Not a care in the world. 3 dead bodies in my backyard now. Go ahead, take care of it. I had no idea. Like, they're my friends. Like, didn't look out the front of your house to see the vehicles at any point in 2 days, and you didn't look out the backside of your house and see 3 men laying in your yard at any point in 2 days. It's very strange.
Both men.
But he also said he didn't purchase the drugs, and that's what he's charged with. We know that the 3 guys, their family members, came out and said that they didn't have any extra money for anything. Like, they all had, I think they all had girlfriends or wives, or like they were getting married, like engaged, and they knew, how much money they had exactly, because that's what couples know.
And
they
they'll
do
face up to 50 years behind bars if convicted in this case.
This case is a tragic reminder of the dangers of street drugs. But make no mistake, the people who supply those drugs can and will be held accountable.
In a statement, the father of Ricky Johnson, Rick Johnson, tells me, "I am happy with the Platte County Prosecutor's Office and the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department for filing these charges. It's been a long time, and I'll be at every court date." We also reached out to Willis's attorney, John Percerno, who has not shied away from the camera for a response to these charges after saying multiple times that his client would not be charged, and we haven't heard back by the time of this report.
Okay. Well, you heard the man. Uh, they are on the they actually just had a preliminary hearing, which we'll hear today, and they had another hearing, and we'll listen to that one as well. It was back in March. I didn't even know that it was available, but it's only like 8 minutes. Then that the one from the preliminary hearing, it's only like 18 minutes, so they're not very long. And they're on Fox Nation, so that's where I found them. So let's go over and look at this a little bit, because this is what they're being charged with and why they're being charged. So now this is still when it said manslaughter. They did upgrade that to second-degree murder, but it's going to give us all the case details. So on 2014, where am I at approximately 21:51 hours, officers of the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department were dispatched to Kansas City, Platte County, Missouri, on a reported dead body. On 19/24, witness 1 stated they were unable to contact Clayton McGeeney, white male, date of birth 3/11/87, and responded to the house where they observed McGeeney's red in color Ford F-150 parked in front of the house. Witness number 1 stated McGeeney was at the home to watch a football game and party with Jordan Willis, and white male, but it has his birthday date like redacted, David Harrington, white male, 9/24/86, and Ricky Johnson, white male, 9/2/85. Witness 1 stated they attempted to contact anyone inside the residence by knocking on the door, and when there was no response, witness 1 made entry into the residence through a basement window. Witness 1 stated they located a deceased party on the back patio and called the police. Witness 1 stated they knew McGeeney to drink alcohol and use cocaine when McGeeney was with the guys. Witness 1 stated when McGeeney would get low on money, Willis would usually supply cocaine to his friends. So he would supply the stuff. So witness 1 stated they knew McGeeney and Johnson did not have any money prior to the party. On 1/9/24, detectives entered the home on a signed consent to search and located item 1, a plastic bag containing a white powdery substance in the top drawer of an end table, and item 2, a small plastic baggie containing a white residue on top of the entertainment center in the living room in the northeast corner of the residence. The deceased bodies of McGeeney, Harrington, and Johnson were all located in the backyard of the home. It gives like the address, but on 1/9/24, Willis stated on 1/7/24, McGeeney, Harris, and Johnson came over to his residence to watch football, where they were all drinking and smoking marijuana. Willis stated he believed that McGeeney, Harris, and Johnson possibly got a hold of some fentanyl at some point on Sunday. Willis stated he believed McGeeney, Harrington, and Johnson all left his residence on 1/8/2024 at around 0400 hours. On 1/12/2024, a doctor with Forensic Medical of Kansas ruled the deaths of Harrington, McGeeney, and Johnson to be due to fentanyl and cocaine combined toxicity. On 1/23/24, it was reported item number 1 was analyzed by the Kansas City Regional Crime Lab and was found to contain cocaine weighing 2.80 plus 0.0008 grams. I don't know why they did that. Okay. Item 2 was analyzed by the Kansas City Regional Crime Lab and was found to contain fentanyl. Now, it says contain. I wonder if it was like combination. I don't know. But it looks like maybe not, like they were separated. On 3/22/24, witness 2 stated witness 2 and their friends used cocaine, and to witness 2's knowledge, Harrington, Johnson, and McGeeney had never used fentanyl. Now, witness 2 is the 5th person that was at the party that night. So there was a 5th person that ended up coming out and talking with, news reporters and stuff, and just giving their side of what they experienced. So this is what they say. But they said that they never knew any of those guys to ever use fentanyl. Witness 2 stated on 1/7/24, Witness number 2, Harrington, Johnson, McGeeney, Willis, and witness 3 were all at Harrington's residence for the football game, where witness 2 observed sorry, a large plate with anywhere from a half ounce to an ounce of blow cocaine, which was supplied by Willis, and everyone present was using the cocaine. Witness number 2 stated Willis was the only person in the group who could find and purchase the amount of cocaine. Witness number 2 stated that they talked with Harrington, Johnson, and McGeeney, and found out Harrington, Johnson, and McGeeney and Willis were going to Willis's residence after the game. So they watched the game over, one place, and they were going to go over and party the rest of the night away, at Willis's house. Witness number 2 then left Harrington's residence and went home. Witness number 2 stated that witness number 2, witness number 3, Harrington, Johnson, and McGeeney were usually supplied cocaine by Blade Brown, identified as Ivory Carson. Black male, redacted date of birth. Blade Brown is his name. Old Blade Brown. That sounds like, it could be, it's not very good. Not a very good name. I couldn't come up with something better than that, actually. On July 10th, 2024, it was reported DNA evidence recovered from item 1, which had previously been analyzed, was compared to the DNA profile of Willis, who was found to be a major contributor. On 7/26/24, it was reported a data extraction of Harrington's cellular phone revealed messages between Harrington, Johnson, McGeeney, Willis, and Carson, and others consistent with the purchasing and use of cocaine. The messages showed the main source of supply of cocaine for Harrington was Carson. Further, the messages confirm witness 1's statement, and when low on money, McGeeney, Harrington, and Johnson would hang out with Willis, as Willis would supply them with cocaine. That's pretty sad. You gotta be like, I got some stuff if you want to hang out. I don't want to hang out with you otherwise. On 9/16/2024, witness 3 stated on 1/7, witness 3, McGeeney, Harrington, Johnson, all went to Willis's residence to watch a football game where they drank alcohol, smoked marijuana, and used cocaine. Witness 3 left the residence on 1/7/24 between midnight, while McGeeney, Harrington, and Johnson and Willis were still at the residence. On 12/12/24, it was reported DNA evidence recovered on item 2, which had previously been analyzed, was compared to DNA profile of Carson, who was found to be a major contributor. On 7/24/24 and 2/5/25, investigators interviewed Carson. Carson admitted to selling cocaine by the gram to Johnson, Willis, Harrington, and McGeeney prior to 1/1/24. Why does it say prior to that date, though? Because he was trying to get out of saying that I sold them on the date that they died. That ain't going to work. I think that was all of it. Yeah. I don't know. The judge did sign this. That was on the 5th day of March. So I actually, that's how I feel, baby girl. I had a friend, I went to high school with this guy, and he was just really sweet guy in high school. Still was sweet after high school. Great parents, lovely, lovely parents. Now my nose is itching. Talking about the drugs. No. So him and his girlfriend, I think I've told this story before, but they went out one night. They didn't go out very often. They had kids and stuff, but they went out, and I guess I saw this on Facebook after he passed away, but I guess at the end of the night, they decided that they didn't want the night to end, so they wanted to party more, and they wanted to party with cocaine. And the person that sold it to them, I'm not sure who did. It may have came out. I just may not have heard about it, but it ended up killing them. Basically, it was like the first line they did, or whatever. They both died. They were there for 2 days, all weekend before someone found their bodies, just like in this case. But it was inside, and I believe that it happened in the summer. I remember it being just being it was horrific, yeah, they shouldn't have done it. They shouldn't have done cocaine, right? Hey, is she? But you should know what you're getting, I guess, right? But they're not going to tell you because they want to make a buck. I mean, really, you know, that's what they're there for. That's why they're drug dealers. That's their occupation, I guess you could say. Now, this guy, I mean, he was smart enough. He's a scientist. He can make the stuff. He can make stuff that's like probably even better. I would have been like, make me something up in your little lab or whatever. I don't know if you had a lab, but I full-heartedly don't think that these guys went into this party thinking that that's what they were going to do, right? I just don't. I think that if that was the case, we would have like maybe 1 or 2 dead bodies. I don't think all 3 of them would have been like down for that, you know? They give out free testing kits. Well, that's awesome. They should give out, you know. After my car accident, I was on oxys for like months. It was terrible. I chose Advil. I chose the Advil life, which I did have. Oh, there it is, still down there. For some reason, Advil worked just as well. Like after a while, they put my actual fentanyl patches, so I know what it's like, but I don't know what it's like because the fentanyl patches did not work. I was like, these things are not working. I was like screaming my head off because you know they weren't working. So they switched me back, and then I went to the Advil. So if you ever have pain, I'm telling you, Advil. I know you're like, everyone's going to be like, doesn't compare. But for some reason with my pain, it really helped. And just keeping myself busy. But you can't keep yourself busy, Ashley, because your ribs are broken. You be careful. So we're going to listen to Jordan Willis. This is Malik. I think this is the same reporter from earlier, so we'll see him again. He gets him it's either before he goes into court or after he's leaving court. And then we'll watch the court hearings real quick too. Oh wait, I have the volume off.
How did you are confident?
Yes.
You are confident.
So for the first time, we're hearing from the man charged with murder and the deaths of his 3 friends found in the backyard of his own home. And he thinks he will be able to beat the charges.
Jordan Willis and Ivory Carson now face amended second-degree murder charges. At a Platte County hearing today, both were bound over for trial. Fox 4's Malik Jackson is at the Platte County Courthouse.
For the purposes of this hearing, Jordan Willis and Ivory Carson will stand trial. But the burden in that trial is quite different than the burden that was needed today from the state. Today, the state just needed probable cause. In a trial, they'll need reasonable doubt. And the defense spent plenty of time picking their case apart. And that's why you heard at the top, Jordan Willis is confident that he'll beat these charges. You said that you are confident in your case, so you do have a comment. What more can you tell us about why you're confident?
No comment.
Okay.
Sorry.
How did you not know your friends were in the backyard of your home?
No comment.
Jordan Willis is not commenting on how he could have been unaware that his friends Ricky Johnson, Clayton McGeeney.
These guys are not small. Clayton, he's small. How do you not see bodies? I mean, maybe the bodies. Okay, you didn't look out the back door or the back windows. I mean, and this house is full of windows too. I should show you a picture of the house. I mean, the back is like windows. But you didn't look out the front and be like, why is my friend's car still here? Oh, they took a lift home? No, you know what I mean? You would text them after 2 days, especially.
And David Harrington were dead in his own backyard.
There's the front.
But we're now getting a clearer picture of what happened and what was going through his mind.
There's 3. Why did they go out there? It just doesn't make any sense.
This is the interview Willis gave to police while they were still searching his home and removing the bodies. At first, he claimed he had no idea who was in his backyard, saying he thought his friends had left. Then he realized it was in fact his friends who were dead. Unprompted, Willis brought up the possibility that the men had gotten into fentanyl. The medical examiner has determined the men died of the combination of fentanyl and cocaine.
They may have gotten something. They may have gotten fentanyl or something.
And as compelling as that recorded interview may be, it's the gaps in the prosecution's case that stand out the most.
I was expecting to hear some hard evidence, of direct evidence of
either of these guys either distributing drugs or handing.
Oh, that's
drugs
Paserno.
to the three deceased people.
Yes, there is DNA evidence on the bags from Willis and Carson, but text messages between the men about buying cocaine from Carson date back more than a month before the three victims died. The state's evidence shows that Willis had bought drugs for the men in the past, but there was no direct evidence presented that the drugs they did that night were provided by Carson or bought by Willis. And the DNA on the bags was not contained to just Willis and Carson. Those bags also had DNA from multiple other people. It's clear all three parties
Who?
are digging in. The state, after upping the charges to include three
Who? I want to know who. Multiple other people. Well, that would be. We want to know.
counts of murder, and both defendants who remain confident in their chances of beating these charges.
Mr. Carson and I have always been very confident in the case, and today just increased that. We're very much looking forward to taking this case to trial.
We're very confident in our
That's
case.
your lawyer?
I can't predict what 12 strangers are going to say about some evidence that I don't know exactly all what's going to come in at trial. But yes, we're very confident.
As for the upping of the charges in this case, Paserno says that's classic bullying by the prosecutor's office. We also did hear from the father of Ricky Johnson, who was in the courtroom. He says thus far he is happy with police and prosecutors, and that he hopes these two men get what's, quote, coming to them, and that he misses his son. Both men will be back in the Platte County courtroom on August 6th for a bond review hearing, and in the coming weeks, a trial date will be set. In Platte County, I'm Malik Jackson, Fox 4, working.
I like you, Malik. I think he is the guy that worked for Daily Mail. Right. And then he had his two dogs. Remember? You just reminded me of that, baby girl. This guy had two dogs, two pit bulls or something, like, or one. And I know he had two because he said they're at his dad's house. Why would they be at your dad's house and not at your house? Like, that's just weird to me. And you didn't go get them for 2 days. Like, they were just chilling over there, just hanging out. It's just weird. So I'm going to show you pictures of his house. So this is the front. He's got all these windows. Look at these windows. Look at these little ones above the garage. I don't even know what you need a window like that for above a garage. Maybe that's a room. I don't know, but that's weird. Maybe that's a bathroom. And then, like, those are some weird windows. Tell me I'm wrong. I want to know what's in that. I want to know what's behind this wall. I might have to look. I might have to do a Zillow search over there. Grab the addresses because that's weird. Like, it's like one square and then one rectangle and then another rectangle window. I guess that could be a rectangle too. That one looks like a bathroom. I don't know. That looks like a very weird front though. Really, Mega Mama? Oh, we've been covering this case since it happened. It's sad. So this is the back of the house. And there was a chair here on the back porch where this big old window is. And I'm sure he took his dogs out this door right here, either the slider door or the door with the doggy hole. But there's a lot of windows. You didn't let any sunshine come in your house for 2 days. You were just riding the wave of the Fetty and the cocaine. You serious? All three men were in the backyard. Yep. That's what I don't get. Like, how do they all drop at the same time? They're all different body weights, right? I'm sure they're all different levels of, tolerance. Maybe one has a higher tolerance, or maybe one of them ate, earlier in the night. Things can, make it to where it does happen differently. But as soon as the first person, you realize there was someone like unconscious, like, I think two of you would be like, oh my gosh, he's unconscious. Let's say like, just whoever. And they're like, the other two guys you would think would try to go inside to get help for the person outside, unless they didn't want to leave the person that was outside. But then you would think those two people would drop in the same spot as the third person, right? If they're sitting there to help them. It makes no sense. That's why I'm like, I want to know what their preliminary, I want to hear the preliminary hearing. Yeah. So what happened was the guy that was on the inside, Jordan, had done the same stuff, I guess, as the 3 guys on the outside that died, but Jordan lived, and they're thinking maybe because he was inside, that's why. I don't know. It's crazy. Now, I don't know why he didn't get the drugs prior, like if it was a month ago, but I think that they said that they had other text messages from one of the victims with him. Now, I don't know for sure, but I thought that's what I heard. I think this is the right one. Yeah, it is. Okay. So I want to play these because I want to listen to these with you guys. So this is the first court hearing that they had. It says the suspects charged in the overdose deaths of 3 Chief fans found frozen in snow-covered Missouri backyard returned to court after victim's father files a wrongful death lawsuit. So this one was on 3/12/2025, and then the second one is going to be the preliminary hearing. And neither of these are very long. This one's 18 minutes, but then the other one's only 11 minutes. So I'll go ahead and hit play here. If you guys don't mind, if you're just now coming in, hey, hello, hi, welcome. If you're new, my name's Tanya or Titanium Built. Welcome in. If you're not new, welcome back. You're late. I'm totally kidding. Totally kidding. Get in here, you losers. No, I'm just kidding. You guys know I love you. If you guys don't mind, take a second, hit the like button, share the video if you like, or subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We'd love for you to subscribe. We'd love for you to become a member as well. If you'd like to become a member, it's linked at the top of the chat for you. Very easy.
Morning, folks. Please be seated.
Oh, he seems nice.
Thank you. Are you ready? Yes. All right. Good morning, everybody. It's 10:45 in the morning, and today is March 11th, 2025. This is a continuation of the Division III criminal law docket. We have a couple special settings at 10:45. We're going to take them up. Let me just acknowledge that there may be folks here that were related to decedents or have an interest in the case. If you're online, just keep your video feed off because there are cameras in the courtroom and you have the right to not be filmed. So if you need to keep your video feed not active, I would suggest you strongly consider that. Otherwise, I'll consider it voluntary that you've had your video feed on. If you're online, keep your microphones off unless or until it's your turn to speak. And we'll begin at this time with the first case, and that's going to be your case, Mr. Percerno, State versus Jordan Willis.
Your Honor, I'm sorry to interrupt. Victims online are texting that they're having difficulty hearing WebEx.
I'm sorry. Let's try this. Can everybody hear me online?
Is that the prosecutor?
Yes. All right.
He's so young. He looks so young to me. I don't know.
All right. What I was saying earlier, let me restate it. Folks, please keep your video feeds off if you are related to a decedent in this case. And the reason is because this may be filmed. We have cameras in the courtroom. And if you have your video feed on, you might be seen and you may not want that. If you keep your video feed on, I'll just assume you have done that voluntarily. All right. Now, this is the Division III criminal law docket. Mr. Percerno, you have the first case. That's State versus Jordan Willis. Let's take that up. Mr. Percerno, are you with us? All right. He's not available. Let's go ahead and take your case up, Ms. Berger.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm not available.
Yeah, that's State versus Jesse Flynn, 24 AE Sierra 018.
I don't know if we need to hear this.
Mr. Flynn is the prelim at 11.
State versus Ivory Carson, 25 AE Sierra 00612. Ms. Berger's here. This was a 1045 case. Mr.
She's a busy lady. That one's later. This is for Ivory Carson.
Carson's available through WebEx.
Yeah, he's right there.
Custody. Mr. Carson, you can see your attorney here in the courtroom at the podium, can't you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Excellent. Counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're here today for a bond review, so I'd ask to address bond.
Any objection to taking up bond at this time, Mr. Van Osten?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Berger, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Bond in this matter is currently set at $100,000 cash only. After speaking with Mr. Carson, we are requesting that the court reduce that bond to $15,000 with a surety or 10% cash option allowed.
I can't take this guy seriously. I mean, Paserno, he has a green screen behind him so he could put his name, his logo, Paserno attorney at law. If anyone needs me, he's a con man. I swear. He's kind of like used car salesman. That's what I get from his lawyer. I'm sorry, but I do. I would rather be Ivory Carson down here chilling by myself. Just get me this lady right here. That's the public defender, you know? This guy is just over here promoting his business. And Jordan looks like he probably could use some cocaine right now because he looks like he's sleeping.
If released, Mr. Carson would return to his apartment here in Kansas City. That's an apartment at which he resides alone. Mr. Carson was born in Georgia, went to college in North Carolina, but he's lived in the Kansas City area for the last 15 years.
Oh, Ladybug,
he has
thank
a
you.
4-year-old and 1-year-old child here, so he has strong ties to the community. He also has a strong incentive to remain in the area and appear at all future court dates because he is eager to clear his name and have his day in court in regards to these charges. At the time of his arrest,
we've heard that before.
Mr. Carson was not working, but he was actively looking for employment. He does not have a current driver's license, but he takes the bus and gets rides from friends and family in the area who are willing to help him out. He's not currently on probation or parole. He does have a pending case in Kansas, Judge, and a pending case here in Platte County that's currently in circuit court. However, I think that actually can cut in Mr. Carson's favor because if you look at the record, he posted bond in that Platte County case back in July of 2024, July 30th to be specific. And since posting that bond, he has appeared with me at every court date in that case. Other than the instant case, which obviously deals with allegations from January of 2024 before posting that bond, no new cases have been filed against Mr. Carson while he was out on bond. I think this shows that he is not a danger to the community and will appear at any future court dates set in this case because he has been appearing voluntarily at court for over 7 months. Mr. Carson would agree to abide by any non-monetary conditions this court chooses to set to assure the safety of the community in his appearance at court. I think it's also worth noting, Judge, that although Mr. Carson was not given the opportunity to turn himself in, it's notable to me that the warrant in this case was issued on March 5th and he was arrested that day on the steps of the Platte County Courthouse where he came voluntarily to attend a pre-scheduled court date, even though he had reason to believe that a warrant might be coming in this case because he had spoken with detectives.
But if he didn't show up for his court hearing, he would have had a bench warrant out. So either way, he would have had a warrant out. So he had to go to court that day. He had to take the chance.
I'm not prepared to speak extensively on the facts of the case. As the court is aware, I just entered my appearance Friday. I've not received yet discovery. However, I think it's important to note that Mr. Carson is presumed innocent. The state has set forth their allegations, but they have not, and we anticipate will not be able to prove that Mr. Carson provided drugs to the decedents on the date in question, or that those were the drugs that allegedly led to their deaths. So considering Mr. Carson's ability to pay, which is one of the factors outlined in Supreme Court Rule 33, we are asking for a reasonable reduction in bond.
Mr. Van Osten, what's the state's position?
Ms. Berger, I'll just take the podium. I've got a couple of
Oh,
witnesses. Your Honor, the state objects to modification of bond and believes the current bond appropriately reflects the circumstances of this case. Your Honor, there's a couple of victims that would like to speak regarding bond today. I would request that the court allows them to speak at this time, and then I will continue with the argument after that. And finally, Your Honor, I just have brief arguments for the court.
Let me check with Ms. Berger. Ms. Berger, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you have an argument you want to make, or you want to stand on the information you've already provided to the court?
I'll stand on my previous argument, Your Honor.
Mr. Dan.
Thank you, Your Honor. Prior to any issuing of a warrant and upon every bond determination, one of the things the court considers is whether the defendant is a danger to the community. A danger to the community is exactly who Ivory Carson is. The defendant is a known drug dealer. When the defendant spoke to law enforcement regarding this case, he self-admitted to dealing cocaine to this group of friends for a long period of time. The defendant's DNA was found on a bag of fentanyl on scene, with all three decedents having their death ruled as a combined toxicity of cocaine and fentanyl. This isn't the only connection the defendant has to distribution of controlled substances. He currently has a pending case out of Johnson County, Kansas, for distribution of marijuana, in which he was also found with MDMA pills. The defendant has a pending criminal history or a pending case in this county for possession of methamphetamine. There are text messages that were part of this matter in which the defendant deals cocaine to the group of friends for a long period of time. Including in those text messages are multiple burner accounts of the defendant using separate phones to complete drug transactions. Multiple witnesses in this matter identified the defendant as the group's go-to drug dealer. So with all those things combined, Your Honor, fentanyl, methamphetamine, marijuana, MPA, cocaine, the defendant's hands are on multiple drugs and drug transactions. The defendant has some criminal history, including 2 driving while intoxicated charges. The defendant's previous bond and the other felony case in this county has had issues, including a previously filed motion to revoke bond from the state filed prior to this case, in which the defendant had issues with checking in with NDS through contact issues, as well as submission to random UAs.
Okay, so probation, parole, whatever, he's on probation or whatever. He's not checking in. He's not doing his urine test. He's skipping out on hearings. He had some meth charges, I thought I heard in there. Yeah, he should be probably just keep his bond the way it is.
Your Honor, ultimately, I don't want to sit and pontificate for too long, but I think there's a cynical view in some of these overdose cases that because the victims may have willingly ingested drugs, they take sole responsibility. That's not true under the laws in the state of Missouri. The laws allow for causality to be attached to those that deal drugs in our community. And Your Honor, that's, I think, the state's primary argument today when we talk about the defendant being a danger to the community. Fentanyl doesn't appear out of thin air. It is manufactured and it's transported into our community here in Platte County and then sold to people. It is sold by people like Ivory Carson. The law allows for punishment of this conduct, and the state will seek that in this case. And based on the fact that the defendant has been attached to multiple distributions of controlled substances, one of which involved the death of 3 people, we believe that reduction of bond would be inappropriate, and that the bond currently, as ordered, reflects the seriousness of this crime and the defendant's proposed danger to the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dowster. Ms. Berger, anything else?
Thank you, Your Honor. Very briefly, again, I don't wish to have a mini trial of the facts in this case, especially without having access to any discovery. However, I will just say that many people who use controlled substances are often shocked by the presence of fentanyl in them. I have no reason to believe that Mr. Carson was not just as shocked that fentanyl was included in any of the controlled substances alleged to have been consumed or sold in this case. And to the state's point about the alleged bond violations filed in the other pending case, both of that motion to revoke bond was addressed in court. NDS provided the update that Mr. Carson was back in compliance on bond, and the state's motion to revoke bond was not acted upon. So to just resting on my earlier arguments, I do believe that a combination of monetary and non-monetary conditions would be adequate in this case to ensure the safety of the community and the defendant's future appearance at court dates.
Thank you. Having considered the statements and evidence that has been adduced, the court's going to amend the bond. It's going to be $50,000 cash only. However, the court's going to add a number of special conditions.
Did he say 50,000? Did he just cut it in half?
Just resting on my earlier arguments, I do believe that a combination of monetary and non-monetary conditions would be adequate in this case to ensure the safety of the community and the defendant's future appearance at court dates.
Thank you. Having considered the statements and evidence that has been adduced. The court's going to amend the bond. It's going to be $50,000 cash only. However, the court's going to add a number of special conditions. The defendant's not to possess or use any drugs not legally prescribed to him. He's to be placed on house arrest with GPS monitoring within 24 hours of release from custody.
GPS ankle monitor. Do they still hook those up to landlines? Because back in the day, if you wanted to get a GPS put on you, your mama or whoever's house you're going to be staying at, you had to have like a secure, like 1000%. This is my address. This is where I'll be staying. This is where my ankle monitor can be hooked up to. You have to have like a landline. You have to do a lot of stuff for that. Like, and then you can. I mean, I've heard of people just like jimmying them off. You know what I mean? Just okay.
He is to have pretrial supervision with Northland Dependency Service.
Oh, do they now have that? Okay, because this was back in the day. I mean, this was, oh my God, 20 years ago, probably.
Services. That's going to be through the court program. Ms. Berger, next court date.
Your Honor, could we set this for April 15th, please?
Next court date will be April 15th. That'll be at 9 a.m. If we have some media requests at that time, we may change the time just to accommodate so it doesn't interfere with my regular docket at 9 o'clock and make it easier for everybody. Mr. Van Oster, any other comments?
Judge, I just want to make sure, I hope the previous prosecutor addressed this, but it's the state's understanding that this and State v. Jordan Willis are the same case filed under a same complaint with different case numbers due to the way the clerks input the system. So it's just the state's request that these cases maintain on the same court date as much as possible. I know we're accommodating 2 defense attorneys, but I just wanted to make sure that the court was aware that that was the state's understanding of the matter and invite any inquiry if the court has any about this system. I know we don't often charge 2 defendants on the same complaint, but we have. So I just wanted to make sure that we were in dialogue about that.
Well, we'll see. If there's just differences of calendars and scheduling, then I'll split them up.
Understood, Your Honor, just as long as we're all on the same page that they're charged under a singular complaint and we tend to try them together and move forward together, that sounds good, Your Honor. Thank you.
I understand.
And Your Honor, I'll remain in the courtroom when Mr. Willis's case is called so that I can help accommodate my schedules. I'll help accommodate any court date that keeps these cases together if I can.
Thank you, Ms. Berger. All right, there being nothing further on Mr. Carson's case, I'll move on to the next case. Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Fine. Thank you.
So you can go back to jail now for a little while, Carson. I mean, $50,000 cash bond, that's still a lot of money though, right? I mean, that's a lot of money. I like this judge though.
All right, that should be all the business we have with the jail at this time. I'm going to
Twinkle. Or Twinkie.
Them. Mr. Paserno, you're now ready on your case, and that's the Willis matter.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let's call that case for the record. 25 AE Sierra 00611, State versus Jordan Willis. Mr. Paserno is here together with his client. They appear via WebEx. This was a case that was last heard last week, and the defendant has posted a bond as previously prescribed. Mr. Paserno, what's the status of this case from your perspective?
Judge, at this point, Mr. Willis is prepared to waive his preliminary hearing.
All right. We'll now move into waiver preliminary hearing. Anything else to discuss before we do that, Mr.
Well,
Van
you're
Osten?
there.
Nothing, Your Honor. I mean, I would just again state for the record now that we're on a new case that it's the state's understanding these cases are charged under a similar complaint and we intend them to be tried together. And by that, I mean State v. Ivory Carson and State v. Jordan Willis, while they have separate case numbers due to the convenience of the clerks, it's our understanding that these cases, if they are to be set for trial, are to be tried together since they're on the same complaint. Obviously, if defense counsel wants to file a motion to sever or something, that can be addressed, but that's the state's understanding. That said, we understand that this defendant wants to waive preliminary hearing. We have no objection to that.
They're on different procedural tracks, and that's highlighted by what's happening right now, right?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Paserno, you may proceed.
Judge, at this time, may I inquire of my client?
Yes, you may.
Okay. Mr. Willis, you and I discussed your right for a preliminary hearing in this case. Is that right? Yes. And we talked about the state's burden to prove more likely than not that a crime was committed and more likely than not that you committed that offense. Yes. And the way they would do that is by presenting evidence to the judge for a finding in that regard. Is that your understanding? Yes. And you understand that you can have the hearing if you choose to, or in this instance, you're telling the court that you're waiving the hearing, giving up the hearing, and that you wish to proceed with your circuit court arraignment. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, Judge, I don't have any other questions on the preliminary hearing.
That waiver made on the record is accepted by the court at this time. The defendant will be bound over to appear in the circuit court for an arraignment, but his next court date will be in Division 6. Division 6 will be an in-person appearance. That's going to be on a Wednesday at 1 o'clock. And here are the available dates, Mr. Paserno. Beginning March 19, then April 2nd, then April 9, then April 16.
Give me 1 second, Judge, please. April, did you say April 2nd, Judge?
I did.
Okay. At 1 p.m., that would be a good date for us, Judge.
All right. So matters now set for arraignment as discussed, April the 2nd in Division 6. That's a Wednesday at 1 o'clock. That's in person. Bond conditions remain as previously ordered. Anything else to discuss from your perspective, Mr. Van Ostren?
Nothing, Your Honor.
How about from you, Mr. Paserno?
No, Your Honor, nothing further.
Okay. Well, that will conclude then Mr. Willis's case. We're going to give everybody a couple minutes to go ahead and remove themselves from the courtroom because I did have a preliminary hearing set for 11. And so we'll let you all exit and then we'll move into that here in the next couple minutes.
Just get out of here, he's saying. Just get out of my courtroom. Get out of my courtroom. Let's see if we can just go back. Oh, I think we can. Maybe not. Maybe we can go back one more time.
Previously ordered.
Maybe we'll go back one more time. I'm like, we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, so this is the second one. It's not very long. It's 11.
Recorded interview.
I keep. Dang it. Okay. What was I going to say? Oh, I'm just going to go ahead and play through this one. But this was supposed to be their preliminary hearing, so that's what it's titled. It's only 11 minutes, so it can't possibly be the preliminary hearing. But I know that they do have someone on the stand that does talk in this one. So I will just listen to what she has to say and we will figure out, I'm going to try to figure out when their next court date is while we're listening to this because I couldn't find it earlier, but maybe I'll have some better luck. Maybe I'll have some better luck now. Or maybe they'll actually say it at the end. I bet you I'll be looking and then they'll say it at the end.
And for everybody's purposes, the microphones that we have in the courtroom just record. They do not amplify. Just speak in a normal voice. Oftentimes people can be intimidated by the microphones, but don't be intimidated. Thank you. You may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Real quickly, I did forget this. I've spoken with Mr. Paserno, and I know the court's feelings on recorded interviews that kind of have a lot of dead space. Ms. Detective Vaughns did interview the defendant, Jordan Willis, in a police car. That has captured what I've done, kind of that the court has suggested in the past. I have taken out space, dead airspace, nobody's in the car, nobody's talking, and I've only placed the interview with the defendant on the USB drive. It is approximately 18 minutes, Judge. I intend to play that. I told Mr. Paserno what I was going to do. He didn't have a problem with that for the purposes of this hearing.
All right. Well, both defense counsel, let's talk to you about that. Any objection to that approach?
No, Your Honor.
Not for purposes of this hearing, Judge.
Thank you, Judge. And then I'll play the initial testimony. I have the TV here so the court can have access to it. Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Court. And could you state your name for the judge, please?
Naomi Vaughns,
And where are you employed, Ms. Vaughns?
Kansas City, Missouri Police Department.
What is your current job assignment?
Detective with the missing persons unit.
And how long have you been with the detective with the missing persons unit?
For approximately 4 years.
And how long have you been employed with Kansas City Police in total?
19 years.
And is the missing persons unit somehow affiliated to the assault squad or the homicide squad?
The homicide squad.
All right. And did you and members of your squad investigate the deaths of 3 individuals, Ricky Johnson, David Harrington, and Clayton McGeeney, at the address of 5208 Northwest 83rd Terrace in Kansas City, Platte County, Missouri?
Yes.
And what was one of your first roles in this investigation, Detective Barnes, when you arrived at that address?
I was a responding detective, and I was pretty much trying to figure out exactly what we had going on.
Okay. So were you one of the first responders as a detective, or were there uniform or road officers at that address when you
There
arrived?
was other officers at the location prior to arriving.
Road officers.
Yes.
All right. And briefly on the date in question of January 9th, 2024, what was the weather like?
Very cold.
If I said about 18 degrees, would you have any reason to disagree with that?
Wow, that's cold.
What was on the ground at the time?
Snow.
And when you arrived, did you have a chance to interview the defendant, one of the defendants in this case, Jordan Willis?
Yes.
All right. Do you see Mr. Willis in the courtroom here today?
Yes.
Okay. Could you point him out and identify him by an article of clothing, please?
Light colored button-up top and dark colors like.
Your Honor, let the record reflect what this has identified Mr. Willis in the court.
The record will so reflect.
Was the interview with Mr. Willis recorded, Detective Barnes?
Yeah.
Were you in another police officer's car?
Yes.
Okay. And you're a detective, correct?
Correct.
And does your detective car have video recording capability?
No.
And so this interview was conducted in the other road officer's police car?
Correct.
And you've had a chance to kind of review the dash camera or the body camera from the interview with Mr. Willis?
Correct.
We'll look at it later, but I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 22 to USB drive. Indicates
Is this
Willis
Paserno?
interview 1924. Is this the interview in question that you had with Mr. Willis?
Yes.
Okay. It's fair and accurate. You've had a chance to review it.
Yes, sir.
So you got to the scene and wanted to know basically kind of what was going on. Did you have any information about the case prior to your arrival, Detective Barnes, why you were responding?
Originally, it was a male found deceased in the backyard at that location.
And then did you discover and learn that there was not just one male deceased, but 3 male deceased in the backyard?
Yes, sir.
And did you have any other information when you arrived other than it was a male?
Hearing today, they cannot listen to prior testimony prior to their own testimony. They can't go out in the hallway and discuss with anybody any testimony that has previously occurred. If they do so, they'll be barred from testifying themselves. Now, I don't know who the witnesses might be. I don't know who you might call. So I leave it up to counsel to monitor who's in the courtroom and who's not. And the rule will be enforced thereafter. Any questions or disagreements or comments about what the rule means to you, Mr. Gibson?
No, Judge.
Ms. Berger?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Paserno?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, the rule's been invoked. If there's anybody you need to have exit, now would be the time to do it.
I think we have our witnesses outside, Judge. They know.
Fair enough. All right. Anything else, Ms. Berger?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Paserno, anything we need to discuss?
No, Your Honor.
Everybody's ready to begin.
Mayor, Judge.
Please
State's
proceed.
first would be Detective Natalie Barnes.
Did I go to the next person?
She's going to administer the oath to you this morning. She doesn't swear in witnesses very often, but she's going to administer the oath to you. If you'll raise your right hand.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this cause is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Accident. manner of death is
They must be cutting out the.
toxicity.
They must be cutting out some of the witnesses or something.
Is Exhibit 1. Exhibit number 2 is the certified death certification from the Missouri Department of Health for Ricky Allen Johnson. Same cause of death and manner of death. And exhibit number 3 is a certified copy from the Department of Mental Health or Department of Health regarding
See that girl just holding up her phone? That's so rude.
David Harrington, again, cause and manner of death the same.
Those are being offered at this time.
They are, Your Honor.
Any objection to 1 through 3 inclusive?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
There being no objection, same as submitted, 1 through 3 inclusive.
I think that's the only preliminary matters the state has, Judge. I don't know if the defense has any or not.
Any preliminary matters for the defense? We'll start with these or.
Just invoke the rule against witnesses, Your Honor.
All right, let's talk a little bit about that. What we typically call the rule.
No, Your Honor.
I say you're good.
Judge, I am also testifying. Though Mr. Cerno and Ms. Berger received those, I did not hear from them indicating that they objected to that. So I did provide the court with an exhibit list. It should be in front of the court.
Is that noted and acknowledged, Ms. Berger?
Yes, Your Honor, and we have no objection for the limited purposes of this preliminary hearing.
Same, Judge. No objection for the purposes of this hearing.
So at this point, Judge, I would move to admit exhibits 4 through 7. Exhibit 4 is a lab report entitled number 2 from Lucretia Weber. Lab report number 5 is a lab report authored by Jared Kennedy. Exhibit 6 is a lab report also authored by Ms. Kennedy. Exhibit 7 is a lab report, again authored by Ms. Kennedy. And lab report, or exhibit number 8 is a lab report authored by Ms. Kennedy. They're all on different dates, Judge. I've provided those to counsel and provided them to the court at this time.
4 through 8 having been offered inclusive. All right, while this is warming up, let's go ahead and start off. We're on the record. Today is July the 24th. This is Division 3, and we have a preliminary hearing set for this morning on one case. And there is 2580-00611-02, 2580-00612-02. Did the state expect anybody to appear via WebEx?
No.
Okay, anybody expect anybody to appear via WebEx? I'm not aware of it. I just want to make sure we're not missing somebody because we've done that on the past.
No, Your Honor.
Let's go through and announce the appearances first, beginning with the state.
Judge Mark Gibson, Colin Van Ostrand, State.
Catherine Berger and Miles Reed on behalf of Mr. Carson.
Good morning, John Pacerno on behalf of Jordan Willis, who's present. Comment.
Is there anything that we need to discuss preliminarily for the hearing begins from the state's perspective?
We do, Judge, and I've spoken with Ms. Berger and Mr. Pacerno about some of the preliminary matters. So I would like the court to take judicial notice of section 195.017.
Police are asking your help tonight in finding.
Cheryl, now you come up here. Cheryl, boys. I'm calling to you. Oh, well, I can't call to you if the camera's off. I can see you in the chat because I'm on my other thing. I'm on my other phone. Or my second channel. So you don't need to be mean to people. I don't know what happened and got your panties in a bunch, but it's not very nice. Just gonna go up here where I was. Oh man, hey gamer lover. I'm like, man, I'm like, she flew in here like a crazy lady. And Ladybug's talking to her. I'm like, I can't see her. She done blocked me. I'm on my other account. Yeah, that's the one that I got. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, that's the one that I got too. So I know, we hadn't seen her in months. I was gonna be like all excited that she was in the chat. That went downhill, didn't it? I was like, yeah, she blocked me. I guess so because she thinks if she blocks me, I can't block her. But I can. I'm like, but I can. All you have to do is just go to your you know what? You know how stupid that was? Like, I bet you it's a Nightbot. I'm just going to see if I can check really quick. Show 100 on each page. That's crazy. Because someone told me before that, like, if you send a message into a chat and that you're like blocked or they're blocked or whatever, that the creator will still see it. But I didn't see it. I don't know if I think I might have went back too far. Yeah, it doesn't even show up in Nightbot. That's weird. She came in here like a tornado. Didn't even drop a hello. So it's so crazy. Like, if I block somebody, like, it's so weird. You know how like Facebook, you like block someone, they can't see anything, right? They just can't. But if you block somebody on YouTube, they can still watch your content. They just can't comment in your lives. And so, you know, I thought Cheryl was cool. But she was being really mean to Cirrus. Yeah, she says something mean. Been having that trouble with other channels too. I think there has been some trouble going on with, like, I wish I could have seen if that was really her. Like, I don't know if I can go back up that far. I mean, I know it is because that's her mouth. We all know Cheryl's mouth. She changed her picture though, it looks like. Nope, she did. But she still looks the same, so you know, it's not like she changed that. Well, I guess she blocked you too, Ashley. She done blocked everybody. You're talking about tornadoes and Mom and Ashley and I were talking about tornadoes. You know, you guys are fine. No, I'm glad you said something, lady, because if you wouldn't have said, why are you being mean like that? I would have never been like none the wiser. Geez Louise, me too, Ashley. I mean, I probably did something, you know, why not? Oh no, the Regina George, that's me. Actually, what's her name in real life? What was on Mean Girls? Oh, I haven't been called that in so long. Feels good. Forget her name now. Gretchen Wiener. Someone used to call me the meanest mean girl of all. Me? Is that who played that? Rachel McAdams? Yeah. I used to be called that. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I don't even have any friends though that are on the it's not like I have a group of people I sit with. Like, I can't take that, you know, I just can't take that title. So hey Carl, thanks for coming in and smacking that like button. 9 or 10 months, I know. It was like I talked about her yesterday, I think, too, on the other channel. Like nice stuff. Like, we just haven't seen her. It was because Isabel had something she wanted me to tell Cheryl. I ain't telling her now. Isabel said she misses and loves you or something like that, Cheryl. If you're listening, I can't keep a message from you like that, but you know. Yeah, I wondered about the twins. That's what it was. I was like, they're probably like a year old now. Yeah, man, Cheryl, stop being weird. She's the female version of rapper. Just coming in the chat like that and dropping a bomb. I'm sorry, serious. I don't mean to laugh at your behalf because, you know, I don't mean to laugh because it was at your expense, but you know, I'm serious. You don't do anything. Are you still a mod over in, is it Drunk Turkeys? I haven't seen you over there in a while. I haven't been over there though. Right, is she? Geez, Cheryl. It just makes me laugh because it's just funny. I think that Sirius was a mod over there in Drunk Turkeys. Turkeys that are drunk. Yeah, it's one guy I think now, but they do true crime too. If he was selling drugs, he could afford the bail, I think. Maybe. I mean, it just depends on how much he was actually selling. If it was, I guess, the quality of it, how much he could sell it for. I don't know. Yeah, Sirius is cool. Really? You stopped going because their wife and girlfriend were playing that Mean Girl shit. I just don't like Mean Girls. I never was. I mean, I can be mean. I mean, I probably can be mean. I'm sure I can. But I never was mean to people. Like growing up, throughout school, in my adult life, I don't know. I just never taken that route. I mean, I've probably said some shitty things before. I'm sure I have, and I'm sure I've said them on this app. But for the most part, I keep my cool. Yeah. Hey, ice cream. That's me too, Groovy Nikki. I was the peacemaker. My best friend wasn't the asshole. Love her. Love her. I love her. But she literally was the biggest biatch in our school. Like, I mean, she just was. I don't know what it was. I think it was her own insecurities, you know, like being an adult now, looking back on it, she was beautiful as could be. But I think that's probably what it was, right? It was just like her own insecurities. So she would just like pick a random person, right? Like at a party. She would just be like, she would walk in and just, I don't know, laser focus on somebody. And we were like, literally, we looked the opposite, polar opposites in every way possible. And she would come in there like a, you know, crazy person. And she would just like say something mean to someone, right? And like, I don't know. She's just that person. But she was my best friend. I don't know. And she was my person. But I would go behind her and I would be like, she doesn't mean that. Like, say, like she said someone's outfit was ugly or something. Let's just say, I don't think she would have been that mean. Maybe, probably. But I would go behind her and be like, no, she loves your outfit. What are you talking about, girl? That thing is working for you in all the right ways. You know, like that was the peacemaker. That was just me and her. Our dynamic was like that. That was just like me and her's dynamic. And we were friends since we were 2. So who was going to love her like me, right? You know. There's Crime Kitty back. Trips says I try to keep it on social media. I was the mouthy one, especially what if you mess with my friends? Oh, me. Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah. I remember one time. I was never in a fight. I was never a fighting girl. But I did have a mouth on me and I could run like the wind and heels too. Like put me in some heels. I never wore flats in like my late teens, early 20s. I always had on heels. But I remember one time this girl, I was in the back of a bar. Don't drink anymore either. So I was in the back of a bar and this girl was like, what was she doing? Oh, my best friend was with her boyfriend for like 4 years. And this girl shows up at the bar and she was the other girl. Her boyfriend had cheated on her and that was the other girl. So I was automatically just hated the girl, right? Automatically, I was like, oh, don't like her. And it wasn't just that. It was like my dad had just passed. So me and this girl were really, really extra close because she was just there. You know what I mean? Like when I needed a friend and like she was such a good friend. So I'm over there being petty AF. And I started chucking ice at this girl. I'm like I'm really like 21 or 22. I have no business being out really that late. And this girl like says something to me. I forget what she even said, but she like runs out the back of the bar. As soon as she said it, like she knew it to start running, right? Well, she started running, and then here I go. I'm just like running after her in these heels that are like should not be worn. They're like 6 inches, and no drunk person should be wearing heels probably. And she gets in the back of the car and she yells out and she calls me a bitch. I jumped on the car. I was on the car going down like the main road in our town, past the police station, might add you. They finally stopped. I got off, but it's just one of those things. Like I will do anything for my friends or for people I care about. That's just a story for you there. Now, I don't know. I'm 40 now, so I probably wouldn't jump on a moving vehicle. No, for some of y'all, I would. For some of y'all, I would. But it was funny. PKC storms, drunk turkeys, mean girls, and crime. Did PKC come in and say, what the heck? Well, damn. Here I am just watering the garden when I have to stop everything to see what's going on. Titanium is stronger than steel. It's I think it's strongest metal out there. I think. Let's see. What is the strongest? It's going to make, and that's not going to be it, is it? Metal on Earth. Tungsten. Why can't I have tungsten? It is known for its high tensile strength, meaning it withstand a large amount of force before breaking. Well, why can't I have one of them? I bet it's like doesn't have flexibility or something. It's the highest melting point of any metal. Huh. What metal cannot be destroyed? There's nothing. I'm curious now. I don't know what it's called. I think it's tungsten. Let's see. Whatever it is, I'm going to ask my doctor why I don't have it.
Tungsten.
Yeah, tungsten. Why can't I have that? Am I not cool? Was my money not good enough for tungsten? Because I know my money's good enough for something because y'all take it all. I think so too. The titanium, yeah. I think so. That's why, it's better. And I think it's just like maybe not like bends because it doesn't bend, but it maybe like constructs to your bones better. Oh, you should see me, Marcy, when I'm on the research wagon. I will call. I'll ask any question. I've done it all. I called the what's it called? The funeral home, right? This was about a year after my accident. I called the funeral home and I said, when I die, right? Are you like if I get cremated, right? Or if I don't, are you going to take like the metal out of me? Like, are you taking that? Are you taking that to like the recycling bin? I was curious, and he laughed a little bit. He was like, I've never been asked that question, and he's been there like 50 years or more. And I asked him about my eye too, and he's like, everything that you come in with, you're buried with. And I said, well, what if I got like cremated? Could you take that out? I was just trying to get my mom some money if anything were to happen to me before her. Yeah, the other's too heavy. That would be bad for my face too. I was talking to my doctor the other day, and I'm thinking about having another surgery, maybe just one or two more, but like one more for sure. But thanks for talking to me. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in, Cheryl, and not taking the link. I'm gonna put the link back on here for you, Cheryl, before I get out of here. Come on, Cheryl. You are the most talkative person that was in this chat before. You don't even have to turn on your camera. Right? Don't say nothing about me. Don't say nothing about the people I care about. Don't say nothing about my family. Only I'm allowed to be mad at them. I do better research than the feds. I love that, Groovy Nikki. One of my really good friends is like that too. Right, Mary Beth? Yeah. I wouldn't yell at you, Cheryl. She did a drive-by, yeah. Serious Black. So we've all been, I think I'm laughing too because it's happened to all of us. Serious, you're just extra part of the family now because it's happened. I know it's happened probably to Ishi and other chats, not this one, but maybe other chats. It's happened to Ladybug. Some troll used to come in all the time saying like Ladybug was dumb or it was just stuff like that. It was just like, what? And it was just a troll. And then it was Mary Beth. I think it was Mary Beth first, actually. I think it was Mary Beth first. And it was because she would contribute to the channel and people saw that. Remember, Mary Beth, people would be like so mean to you. I don't remember what they even said, but I was just like, I hate people. And then it happened to Ladybug. And then it happened to Baby Girl, I think, the other day. And so it's like, and of course it's happened to me a million times. So yeah, you're just part of the crew, The trolls saw you and they were like, we're gonna get that Serious Black. Time to keep a running tab. I know, right? I do love trolls for the most part. I like Rapper when he's in a good mood, when he's in a Rapper mood. Like when he's in his, like, not in his, where he's saying off the pocket, out of the pocket, whatever it's called, stuff like that. When he comes in and he just like laughs with us or whatever. We had one person come in here. They tried to troll the chat and I was so nice to them. They were like, I can't even troll you, Tanya. And they left the chat. I was like, well, see, that's what happens. That's what happens. I think I was going to do it today. I was going to go live on my TikTok and I'm trying to get people to go over to my Unfiltered with Tanya TikTok and follow me over there because I have like 10 followers. Literally, I think I have 9 actually. I don't think I have a double digit over there. But I want to try to get up to where I can stream or do live streams over there. And they're not on my, like, they're not connected to my, my YouTube or my true crime. But I am going to do a live probably in the afternoon sometime, maybe not. I'll probably do it when I get home from getting my hair done. I'm supposed to get my hair done tomorrow. Does he? Oh, I didn't know he did the racist comments. Oh yeah, no, he don't do them in here. Oh yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that neither, Trips. I don't play well with people like that. I'm the whitest person in my family. Literally. And it shows when I'm with my family. What the hell? Yeah, I didn't know that. Well, he's blocked under 50 different aliases and 50 different rappers, I wish I could just like unblock everybody because I think a lot of them are just old accounts, but it's like, I would end up doing that and it would be like crazy or something in here and I would feel so bad. But I appreciate you guys sitting and talking to me for a little bit. I'm going to jump off of here. Like I said, I have to get my hair done tomorrow. It really needs to be done. It's not grown out this long since I've done it. Like my bottom extension is like down here. It should be like up here. Oh my God. Right, Groovy Nikki. That's why I'm just like, I'm not sure. Yeah, most of my channel block was, it's probably his alts. Really. And Jared, whoever Jared is, Jared Parker, he wants to drink my urine and do other things. And he's so gross. That's why I was wondering, like, that all happened at the same time almost too. Ladybug was like, isn't Jared Parker the weird one? And I'm like, yeah. So I saw the comment, so I deleted it because they were like, Vincent's Jared Parker. I'm like, Vincent would never troll on YouTube. I can't get him to even come on my channel. He would like be so nervous. You know what I mean? Like, and just to let you know, if we ever did, yeah, he wants to touch my boobs. Yeah, he loves me. If he ever did come on my live, we would probably be the two most awkward people together. You probably would be like, is this their first date? Because I would just be looking at him like, are you okay? And he would just be like really quiet. It would probably be so funny though. It would be actually. Hey, Leslie and Billy. Yeah, I know. Yeah, go Chiefs. Go Taylor Swift. I'm just kidding. That is funny though. I do like football. Go Andy Reid. There we go. I don't remember either, Mary Beth. I remember she got mad one day and I think I was like, no, I think she might have like got upset because I called her out maybe. I think she might have been lying and I called her out in it or something. I can't remember for sure, but I remember she said something. She was just like, I'm out of here. And then she was just gone. I'm an Eagles fan, so go Eagles. Or Andy Reid. I do like Andy Reid, so go Chiefs. Alrighty. Well, I'll see you guys all tomorrow on the live. I'll either be on the second channel first or whichever. Like I said, my pool is closed. So I don't have much to do around in the afternoon time other than get my hair done. So maybe after I get my hair done, I'll come back and hang out with you guys. It only takes like a couple hours. So I will see you guys all tomorrow, though. Have a wonderful evening. If I don't see you tomorrow, have a wonderful, what is it, Tuesday? Tuesday the 12th. Big things are going to be happening. No, I don't know. But we are out of the full moon phase. So if you guys feel better, I mean, I've been feeling better. So that's a good thing. But I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share if you guys don't mind. And I love you so much. I care about you guys. And lock your doors, lock your windows. Do all the things, right? I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in us. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up, babe. Tonight we gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We gonna light it up. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no